Bill Belichick, the greatest football coach in NFL history, agrees to an interview with CBS this morning, I believe yesterday. It's supposed to be about his dad and some book that Bill Belichick is fronting or wrote or had written. And, whoo, boy, this is not a good look for Bill Belichick. His 24-year-old girlfriend seems to be calling the shots here. Let's play shot number 13.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the philosophy.
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
And so they've had a story out about how they met over on an airplane flight. That type of interruption, and we're not talking about this, makes it sound like they don't want to be on camera saying anything about how they met because perhaps, and again, this is just the journalist in me, is like maybe someone has a contradictory story on how they met. Anyway, this whole thing, not a good look for Bill Belichick. He's got, I'm calling her Yoko Ono, that a 73-year-old man and his 24-year-old girlfriend that seems to have a lot of say-so and a lot of control over a 73-year-old coaching legend. Bill Belichick is making himself a bit of a laughingstock, in my opinion. I'm not trying to be super judgmental. I think any man that likes women can understand what's going on here. We get it, but I just think we're shocked, or at least I am, that Belichick would go the 24-year-old route, public relationship. She's everywhere with him on the sidelines in interviews. She's calling shots. I just don't understand how there's no 40-year-old for Bill Belichick to be having this relationship with some 45-year-old, some 50-year-old, some 35-year-old. 24 is just mind-blowing here to me, and Belichick is throwing away a part of his legacy, and it looks like a guy that just hasn't recovered from his relationship with Tom Brady ending and Tom Brady having all that success without him. It just feels like Bill Belichick is in free fall here. TJ, you were in Patriots camp and spent a tiny bit of time with Bill Belichick years ago. I know you're a big Bill Belichick fan. What's going on here? What do you make of this?
Well, I think he's in a late life crisis. I'm not sure how else you could explain this. I think your radar went up like everybody else's. Why can't you say that you met on a plane? That to me, there's some sort of like, you're making people like me who don't normally assume the most, the worst possible outcome.
Salacious.
You're making me think, yes, you're making me think she's an escort, or you found her at a strip club or something, don't do that. He's destroying his legacy.
Real Estate Agents I Trust connects you with top-performing real estate agents in your area. These aren't just any professionals. They're carefully vetted to ensure they're leaders in their field. They're experts who know the ins and outs of best practices, thrive in the wild housing market. Beyond their skills, they share our core values that me and you both believe in. Real Estate Agents I Trust, the name really does say it all. Visit realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com.
You know what he's doing differently, and but I think it's still, and too bad Steve Kim's not here. He's doing Evander Holyfield, who had to keep boxing after he went broke. And he had, $200 million or whatever, and kept going well beyond being 40. Fought once when he was 58 years old and got knocked out in the first round. This is what it feels like. Like, at this point, why is Belichick doing interviews? I get it was supposed to be a book promotion, but what is he doing? For years, he's on a leash. I've never seen Belichick's always holding the leash. But I was actually there at one point. He reprimanded me for something I said in an interview. Okay. This is how Belichick operates. He's standing behind everybody else, asking them why they're saying those things and what they can and cannot say. And now his 24-year-old girlfriend is sitting at his interview, telling him what he can and cannot say. It's absurd. I mean, it is absolutely everything we've ever thought about Bill Belichick. It is now the opposite. It's undermining everything. All of his players are watching this and going, I'll tell you this. You can't watch this and then expect to go back to your 21-year-old quarterback and expect him to listen to you. He thinks you're weird now. First of all, you're dating a girl my age. Okay, that's a problem. But then beyond that, you're like, hey, man, you're whipped just like we are. Yeah, Belichick was always above everything. He is more whipped than any man in America today. And I hate saying that because I don't get starstruck very often. I did not get starstruck by Tom Brady. The last time I can ever remember being starstruck is the day I shook Bill Belichick's hand. And he's destroyed that. And I'm sad about that because I would prefer guys like him do what Michael Jordan's done. And when you're done, go into mystery so that lore that existed continues on forever.
I'm going to go look at it. I think we're having some buffering issues on YouTube. Hang with us. Hopefully that will get better. But I do want to look up something as it relates to, did Michael Jordan, did he end up marrying? Yeah, he ended up marrying this new girl. And she's 47 years old. And she's breathtakingly beautiful, in my opinion. Michael Jordan is 62 years old. And I'm just sitting there like, Michael Jordan worth $3.5 billion. He can be satisfied with a 47-year-old wife, but Bill Belichick can't be. Every man that I know, other than TJ, is like, they can understand like young women and the attractiveness of young women. But man, when you have this big public brand, this just seems not just irrational, but it's just unnecessary. They couldn't have this relationship privately. It had to be public. It just is mind-boggling. And that's where my mind goes to like, is this some sort of ritual or pledging and I know that sounds crazy and it sounds tinfoil hat. I'm about to analogize it to a television show, but I used to love the show Billions on Showtime. And it showed you like the games that billionaires played amongst themselves. And I can't remember Axe's best friend that worked with him. I can't remember the name of, I'm going to look it up because I don't want to miss this. But it was Axe's best friend, there it is, Mike Wagner. Wags, I think is what they called him. Yeah, Wag. Yeah, his best friend. And do you remember, TJ, there was an episode where he wanted to join some club and they made him dress up like a woman and come to some event.
Yes.
And so I know we're talking about a TV show, but they're basing this off of like, hey, this is what these weirdo billionaires do and make people do to join their club and blah. I can't say if that happens for sure, but I just don't think it was in the show if it had never happened. And part of me is like, has someone said, Bill, if you want to coach in the NFL again, if you want to be in our good graces, or we have dirt on you and you must go through this humiliation ritual with this 24-year-old girl, my mind has to go there to fully understand what's going on here. This man had a great reputation and brand. I think he's putting himself, this young woman, in harm's way. I know how guys in a college locker room think. He's put a bullseye on this woman's back. These players, they're not angels. They're young. We just had, you think these guys that trolled Shador Sanders and these other players with prank calls, this is what college kids do. Someone in that locker room, a handful of them were like, I want to get with Coach Belichick's girl. That would be great. This is how these young dudes think. Their hormones and their testosterone's out of control. This makes no sense to me. Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.